Hello everybody and welcome back to Stellaris, where we are incredibly close at this time. Incredibly close to unleashing the big one. It's a bad idea, of course, and we'll see if all of the preparations that we've been making over the last while are at all worthwhile. I don't know if they are. Watch this be a giant anticlimax. But we're very close at this point. We've got these guys upgrading. So we've got these 3 stations being worked on their upgrades. That will finish up quite quickly. That won't take very long. And then we've got Ulasia Station here, which is still working on getting finished with all of its Fire Coral class defense platforms. That's going to be a lot longer. That's like 74 months. Okay, 73 months. So that's definitely not ideal. I don't think we're going to wait on all of that. The Ulasia Station, though, is one of the more important ones for us, because it's a ways away from our standard forces, and this kind of needs to be able to stand on its own if we get kicked out of the Federation, and then all of these guys start attacking us. Which is what we're preparing to have happen. I don't know that that's what's going to happen, but that's the theory. That's the worst case scenario, and you know what they say, plan for the worst and hope for the best, right? So that's exactly what we're doing. I do want to definitely put in a naval logistics office here, as well as an orbital anchorage, something like that. So that seems fine. Do we have any of these other stations that need to be upgraded? The answer is no, but we do have quite a lot of construction ships that are currently idle. So to that end, we could purchase some alloys if we were to sell some rare crystals, some zero, some volatile motes, and then we could buy in 2,500 alloys at a pretty good price. And does this not have any planets? Just asteroids? Okay, so we'd have to build it around the star. That's fine. So we'd build a Habitat Central Complex right there, and that'll be okay. So now we've still got 2 idle construction ships here. We'd be waiting on the influence here. And the Clever Clam is currently working up over this direction. Sure. We don't have any archaeology sites left, so I guess we'll go with Salvager. It's not really ideal, though. So that's fine for right now. I want to check through. We're at 2911 pops right now. So I think we want to give this not much more time, but maybe a little bit. And we can, like, unleash the big one, well, soon. How long is that research project going to take? So this finishes in 1 month and doesn't require a science ship. So we can do this at literally any time we choose. So with that noted, our naval capacity is a primary concern at this point. I want to check in on the status of Hosent. So we're building a hydroponics bay and upgrading to Star Fortress. That's going to take a fair amount of time. Okay, so that is absolutely noted. And we can see every time Ulasia Station finishes one of these Fire Coral class defense platforms, its strength goes up by roughly 2k. And that's absolutely fine, but they're going to take 60 days each. There's 35 of them left here, so actually 36. So that's going to take, what, 72 months in total. Yeah, that's about right. So I think we definitely let these finish their upgrades, which is finishing, like, as we speak. This last one is only a few days.
Ships upgraded.
So we'll definitely let that happen. Okay, so each of these take 2 days to upgrade, and yeah, that's pretty much done right now.
Ships
Perfect.
upgraded.
We don't need to do any ship upgrades, I don't think. No, those are about as good as they're going to get for right now. That seems relatively fine. And then checking down through here, yeah, I really think that we're basically entirely ready to go here. The major thing is, we could definitely be more ready to go if we were to bring up our naval cap.
Handshake
But
protocols
that's going to be kind of a permanent cycle, because we can bring up our naval cap, and then I'll be like, oh, well, we can now get a 9th Titan. We can get another fleet, and then we'd build another fleet. And then I'd be like, well, we can bring up our naval cap to have this be even. And then I'd be like, well, we can get a 10th Titan, so we can get another fleet. And that would just permanently be a thing, right? So I think here's the plan. This might be the final episode, and if this is indeed anticlimactic, you will already know that. But I don't know that yet. So here's, I think, the plan for this episode. We're going to give this time...
Handshake protocols activated.
...for a while. We're going to work our way through some of these defense platforms here. And the idea behind that is I just want to give that some time to work it up, and towards the end of this episode, we'll unleash the big one and see what happens. Will that make this storm get subsumed into the big one? Will that destroy everything? Who knows? I'm betting that what's going to happen is we're going to get like a special project, or more likely we're going to get one of the situations that appears up here, and we're going to have to fill up a bar, is my guess. And the question is, how hostile will our Federation members be as we do that? Because we're in a Federation with almost everyone in the galaxy at this point. And that's fairly common at this point in Stellaris. Honestly, I feel like they need to address the fact that the League of Non-Aligned Powers always forms like this and always fairly easily defeats the warring factions. And then just kind of sticks around and causes the galaxy to hugely stagnate at the end. That's definitely a thing that happens pretty regularly in Stellaris Endgame, and I feel like that's something that should probably be addressed. But as of right now, this is the way it is, and so the question is, will they kick us out of the Federation over it, and will the Federation go to war with us? If they do, that's what we prepared all of these defenses for. And it still might not be enough. If they don't, then that's going to be a massive anticlimax. I guess we'll find out. The question is, how thought through did Paradox make this big one situation? So we'll see how that ends up going. For now, I want to stockpile alloys. So we're going to continue buying and selling, and we're just stockpiling alloys because we're going to need to replace things if we get kicked out of the Federation, right? So that is definitely going to be a concern. We can stockpile up to 195,000. I don't think we are going to wait that long. That's going to take a while to get that much done. But for now, this seems pretty okay. So we're 83 influence right now. We can get one of these construction ships going fairly soon. Okay, so that Astral Rift event is fine. Of course, the reason we're negative in energy credits here is because of Demi Vito and this magnetic storm being an absolute jerk, and the fact that our naval capacity is up quite high, increasing the maintenance cost of our military ships by 21%. Our economy is honestly going to be in a pretty dire state if we have to mobilize our entire navy and pull them out of Gothra. It's gonna be rough in both the energy credits and the alloys. So there's that. That's definitely something to consider going forward. Let's buy a few alloys. Price is good. I don't think we can do any sales just yet. Yeah, I don't want to sell at these prices. So that's fine. We're not going to be able to continue this process that we've been doing for too much longer, but it has netted us almost 1 million alloys. So that's an insane amount. No doubt about that.
Construction complete.
So obviously, these star bases, they are not going to be fully capable of standing on their own, but they're going to do a large amount of damage and make the AI really think multiple times about whether they actually want to do that, right? So let's put in a naval logistics office here, and then an orbital anchorage. We also had our colonization bugs finish up out over this direction, so that looks great. We absolutely want to start this off with a gene clinic and a habitation district. There we go. So we're at 2923 pops. By the end of this episode, we're probably going to be getting close-ish to 3,000 pops. I don't think we'll quite be there. But we'll definitely be making our way in that direction. So 1.37 is an okay price. We can make a series of sales here, but the market is not in the best of situations. Oh, 0.99, that's much better. So we'll buy in a few more alloys. We could always be working on upgrading one of these. In fact, I'm going to work on the sentry aerials right now. So we're going to get going on that. That'll give us more intel level, which will be a very... But that's not going to finish anytime soon, right? So that's absolutely fine. We are going to have enough influence to get a construction ship going pretty soon, but I want to go through our planetary constructions here quick and see if any of these additional pops need to be put to work.
Handshake.
So what do we have
protocols
going on
activated.
here? The answer is this Forge world needs a capital upgrade, which we are delighted to do. What else might we need here? The answer is not much. Okay, it's not surprising. We still have a very, very large amount of jobs from that Nexus storm that need to get filled. We're still working on that. This is at 24 available jobs here, 35 here, 15 here. We have so many jobs that we can develop here. 23 jobs available here, 29 here. Oshar Secundus is actually full, but Targon Prime, a factory world, needing 48 with additional expansion opportunities here. That's insane. So Celia Prime has some crime, and note that our consumer goods are currently only at +1. So that definitely means that we need to get some of these people put to work. There's no doubt about that. A lot of our population growth is happening on these stations at this time, and that's fine, but we definitely do want to do some work here, right? Like, we currently need another metallurgist job here. We need a chemist, an enforcer. We need a bunch of clerks. There's 8 jobs needed here, or 8 pops needed to work there, I should say. This has an available job. This one doesn't, nor does this one. But look at this, 58 available jobs on Florp. And we haven't even worked on this at all. This just exists as an ecclesiastical center. Okay, 28 available jobs here. Yeah, it just, we have so much need of pops. It's insane how many pops we need. Even coming up to a Stinda Prime. If we come up here, we can see 4 on Ulm Prime, 6 available jobs. Valis Prime, 6 jobs. 6, 3, 19, 11, 2, 8. We just need pops. That's what this comes down to. We need ridiculous numbers of pops to get our economy online. Now, our pop count is growing, and it's growing at an increasing rate as we are getting more and more places settled. But more and more places settled also means we need more and more pops. Eventually it will fill, but that's not going to be on the timeline that I set out here. So that's definitely concerning. So down in Ezok here, we finished this. This is, of course, unfortunate because that means that we can come down to like a freeway down here, and we're going to need to build a habitat down this direction. So we can have this enter orbit here. We only have enough to build 1. So we're going to do exactly that. We're going to build a megastructure out over here, a habitat central complex. We are restricted on our amount of influence. So that is absolutely painful. The good news is, at least we're at our full... So that's something. But now we're back to 2 idle construction ships. So that's definitely not ideal on the influence front. So what else do we have going on as far as constructions go? Well, it's not going to be very much. We're at 2927 pops, which I think is that down 2 pops? No, we were at 2924 before. We're up 3. I was going to say, we shouldn't be down pops. Let's check in on Ulasia and see how this is going. It's up to 120, actually 131 fleet power now. 131k, I should say. And it's got another 29 defense platforms to build here. That's definitely going to take a while. No doubt about that. And we're dipping negative on our consumer goods at this time. All we need to have our consumer goods come up is we need jobs to grow in the correct location, right? So basically what this ends up meaning is we would need jobs to grow in a location like here. And we're pretty close to getting a new pop, but this is going to be an enforcer or maybe clerks. That's the only things that we need there. So what if we were to look at, say, one of these factory worlds that was down here, like Yeti Prime, where we've got a bunch of potential artisans. Well, we are about to get a pop growth here in 1 month, and let's see where that ends up going. So that's going to happen right now. And I'm not sure where that went. It maybe went to an artisan. I'm going to prioritize artisans and then go back to prioritizing medical workers, like this. That's going to bring us back positive on our consumer goods.
Construction
Although
complete.
this world is going to have some other issues. But for now, that's reasonably fine. Gamma Velorum finished up over here. That means that we can put in an orbital anchorage and then probably... What do we produce here? These are technician jobs. So in that
Construction
case, we
complete.
could go for something like stratospheric ionization elements. Alloy processing facilities would increase alloys from metallurgists, but the main problem with that is while we do have auto forges, they're auto forges. Actually, they do give metallurgist jobs. They changed this at some point. Auto forges didn't used to give jobs. I've changed my mind. I would rather have alloy processing facilities here. So you can see we're now at plus 225 consumer goods, and that's absolutely fine. We're now at 2929 pops, and we definitely want to see that pop count grow, but it's slow going. As we get more and more stations built, we are increasing the rate at which our pops are growing. More specifically, what we're doing is we are having more pops growing simultaneously. Each one is not growing faster, right? So we just finished up this. We need to send out our colonization bugs. Out they go. And then we need to get some orbitals built here. So this is going to be a major here. This is going to be a minor orbital. We're going to do a major here. I don't think that actually went. No, it did not. We're going to do a major down here. This is going to be a minor and an additional minor. We can do a minor up over here, and then a minor here, a major here, a minor here. This would be a major, and then a major over the star. I believe that's everything in this system. Yeah, should be good. So at least we don't require influence for that one. And now we're back positive on our minerals. Okay, that's a good sign. We are still negative on our unity. That's something that we'll fix with pops. Same with our energy credits, although the primary problem with our energy credits is still Demi Veto. Although minus 458 is probably not entirely Demi Veto. There's probably other forces involved in that. Let's sell some rare crystals, sell some zero, sell some volatile motes, and we can buy in a few alloys. Okay. So that looks fine for now. I'd really like it if we were able to get these two construction ships working, but at the moment we need a bunch more influence for that. So that is absolutely understood. But the good news is we are up to 2930 pops. Excellent. And this is going to be what? Energy credits? Yeah, our energy credits are continuing to get worse here. Again, we need pops for this. We could check in on our edicts here and see what we've got going on here. So we do have capacity subsidies on. We have forge subsidies. We're not running research, or rather industrial subsidies right now. Veneration of Saints is on. Okay. And nutritional plentitude is on for the pop growth speed. I'm not concerned about food at this moment. So that's absolutely fine. Industrial subsidies would not necessarily be the worst thing in the world, but it's reasonably okay. So what else could we potentially go for? Well, there's the expensive stuff down here. We have a Grand Fleet, we have Will to Power, and Omnifarious Acquisition. All of that, I think, is necessary at this time. And Desperate Measures is going to be something we will definitely turn on if the galaxy turns on us. There's no doubt about that, but our economy is in not the greatest of states right now. That's for sure. We have this Astral Rift event pending. Sure, that's now done. So that looks good. And that'll go away in a moment. So that seems relatively fine, but this magnetic storm, still a giant problem for us. This is the bulk of this deficit. That's for sure. So that's definitely painful, but it's okay. We will get there. We do need more pops to make this actually, relatively viable. So we're at 2934 pops right now. I'm actually leaning towards, well, Kerbis Prime here needs a little bit of work. So we could put in a mineral processing plant here and then get ourselves a couple of astro mining bays. And then the rest of this can go to industry. And this is a core problem with our industry right now, is because we're so far behind in pops, we are still working on harvesting these raw materials. Once we get the raw materials harvested like this, then we can start pivoting into having this be industrial production. But we need a lot of pops before that's theoretically viable, right? We're full on astral threads. We should definitely do something about that. We also have a relic available for our Triumph. I don't feel like we need to do any minor artifacts at this moment. I'm going to run the Omni Codex for right now, and we'll put 3 pops somewhere. I don't really care where. They'll migrate and or be put to work, so that sounds good. Although we don't necessarily want them to be put to work in the field that they're being put to work on. That said, this Forge world has an available job.
Complete.
That is a big deal. I'm going to upgrade this Alloy Mega Forge for right now. And we're definitely interested in getting them put to work on Forge worlds. That's very, very big. I would be delighted by that. This generator world here requires housing. Now, we're maxed out on generatoring here, and I don't want to put in any food or these 2 mining districts. I don't think that matters, so I'm going to put in an industrial district here. This is going to give us some amount of housing, but it's also going to give us some additional jobs in the industrial fields. So that'll be a useful thing once we have another pop growth. Okay, checking through the rest of this, is there anything else that needs development? The answer to that is no. We are up to 126 influence, so very soon we're going to be able to get one of these guys put to work. So that would be in Ilya, most likely. Very, very soon indeed. I want to check in really fast here on the Ulasia station. Okay. It's still got about 46 months. Well, like 48 months. Well, like 47 months until that's fully complete. I don't know that we should wait on it. I don't think we should. However, I'm still very concerned right now that if we do this and we get kicked out of the Federation, our economy is going to be in an absolute shambles. I don't think we're economically prepared for this. I think we're militarily prepared, but I don't think we're economically prepared. So we may have to wait a little bit longer on the Empire population. That might be the core issue right now. Because economically, it's going to be rough. So maybe we do have to wait a little longer here. These orbital docks can be upgraded, and that is, of course, going to delay our influence, but I'm still going to do that. We'll get that going. And was there another one over here that I saw? No, that was a trade hub. That's fine. We don't need to upgrade our trade hub. Okay. Well, it is about time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to hopefully unleash the big one. But yeah, I'm very concerned economically at this moment. I want to do some work on our economy, but mostly what that's going to require is just time for our population to grow. That's what it comes down to. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer. I was a little bit late on getting this started, and I don't remember who's next. Andy Magar, there we go, Dark Horse, Xenocyte, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time. I've done this enough times that you'd think I would have that whole list memorized. Apparently I don't.